After more than 3 years of waiting, 2 Santa Clarita families will get some closure tomorrow.
This week, the Cougars will return home to face off against Grossmont at 7 p.m. at Cougar Stadium.
But as COC students may have noticed in the Honor Grove earlier this week,
develop people who build better tomorrows.
This is Kelly Price reporting from Vista Valencia for COC News.
How will this affect the rest of the job market?
Welcome to Canyons News.
Live from Mentry Hall, with news from around the Santa Clarita Valley. This is Canyons News.
Tonight on Canyons News, we hear from a man whose quick thinking saved his life.
Newhall residents and store owners voiced their concerns on a proposed multi-million-dollar project.
And tonight, we meet a student bravely facing the daily challenges of an uncommon disorder, discovered their story for a call for awareness. Good evening. I'm Terry Collier.
And I'm Joey Gomez. We begin tonight with the aftermath of a plane crash. Investigators are still combing over the wreckage of a small plane that flew over the Santa Clarita Valley Saturday and crashed minutes later. The plane departed Lancaster and flew over Santa Clarita shortly after 1:30 in the afternoon. The aircraft then plunged from the sky and slammed into 2 homes in Simi Valley. Fire crews responded to the 200 block of High Meadow Street and found the plane fully engulfed. The pilot, a passenger aboard, and a dog were all killed in the crash. The owner of one of the homes recalls the moment he was nearly killed by the falling plane.
I started coming in towards the house just to tell my wife something doesn't look right with the plane circling over our house. And then as I was approaching the house, I heard the large bang sound, and then turned around and I saw part of the plane, which was I think it was the fuselage that was in the backyard, on fire.
A student has been accused of a vandal after graffiti was found throughout campus. Canyons News reporter Christopher Casey has more on what COC officials says is $1,000 worth of damage.
The vandalism you see here contains many messages that were spray painted across multiple buildings throughout campus, an act that has angered COC officials.
So graffiti that is that singles out particular individuals or groups of people with derogatory messages is not something that we tolerate here at the college.
On April 24th, COC officials say that campus security caught a suspect under the nickname Zorro, who COC officials later identified as a COC student. Campus security revealed that most of the graffiti was found in the student parking structure at Lot 4, with the suspect's signature, quotes, and harmful messages, some of a racist nature.
So, my opinion on that is, the law is the law.
Garrigan, a student at COC, clearly thinks the suspect should be brought to justice.
Whether he was aware or not, the laws exist beyond your understanding of them.
According to Harnish, the damages for the graffiti are at $18,000. The student that was arrested by the Sheriff's Department was confirmed to be by COC officials to be 19-year-old Avery Marshall.
If we can identify the person responsible for it, then we will certainly have them go through the student discipline process. They'll be referred to go through the student discipline process. And in this case, will involve law enforcement.
We reached out to the Sheriff's Department regarding the case and we did not receive a response back. As of currently, Marshall was released and is soon due to be in court. Campus officials ask, if you see something, say something. For Canyons News, I'm Christopher Casey.
A proposed project in Old Town Newhall has the community divided. While some are open to new development, others worry it could erase pieces of Santa Clarita history. Reporter Julianne Lena is outside City Hall with more.
Thanks, Joey. A proposed project in Old Town Newhall sparked debate at a recent meeting. Some see growth, while others see major concerns. Here's more on the story.
And I stand before you right now to beg you to reject this proposed project.
Recently, downtown Newhall business owners addressed the City Council on the proposed 5-story mixed-use development. The project will demolish the almost century-old Newhall courthouse. In its place will be a development project featuring 78 apartments and 5,300 square feet of commercial space. The developer quietly negotiated a $750,000 impact fee with an unnamed council member, never disclosed in any public study or on the council agenda. Right behind me is where the old courthouse stands, at least for now. A developer's $750,000 offset fee was meant to ease concerns over demolishing an historic building. But critics say it feels less like a preservation and more like a payoff. Main Street business leaders like Mike Miller say the new housing and shops are vital to draw visitors back to Main Street and sustain local restaurants after years of decline.
Without these kind of investments, without bringing people to the street, without residents to walk around and shop, support the restaurants at night, downtown Newhall will not survive in its current state.
In contrast to Miller's view, other business owners worry the new development will prompt landlords to raise rents, forcing longtime Main Street tenants out.
I think they're trying to attract more outsiders. I think they're trying to remodel kind of the environment of Main Street, which definitely has positive aspects to it. Again, it's just really sad to see small businesses go under, and I hope that mom and pop businesses can stay in business, and I don't want to see all Main Street become corporate.
Clemens shared that her customers park blocks away and Uber in, and other owners worry the new project will deepen the parking dilemma. Whether the century-old courthouse survives or makes way for new development, this debate poses a larger question for Newhall: how to welcome change without losing the history and small-town charm that first drew people here. The City Council delayed its vote to review parking, preservation, and small business impact. A final decision is expected later this month. Reporting live from City Hall, I'm Julianne Lena. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Julianne. A longtime Santa Clarita business is no more. Mimi's Cafe near Magic Mountain Parkway and Auto Center Drive has been demolished. A new Yard House restaurant will be taking its place. Mimi's was known for serving comfort food and bistro classics. The restaurant was a part of the community for more than 30 years.
Hollywood is the central hub of cinema, but now studios are packing their bags and moving elsewhere. Reporter Victoria Suarez explains what's driving Hollywood away.
Hollywood has long been considered the heart of the film industry, a dream factory where iconic films and television shows are made, shaping culture and history. With countless studios and creative opportunities, California has been a haven for filmmakers and entertainment workers alike. Due to rising production costs and more competitive tax incentives elsewhere, California is becoming too expensive for many productions to stay.
Why is Hollywood leaving? Because money. It is the tax incentives that are available in states like Georgia are much greater than the tax incentives for producing anything in California.
Santa Clarita, known for its versatile filming locations and scenic ranches, has served as a more affordable alternative to central LA. The local economy has benefited from the influx of productions, bringing foot traffic and revenue to nearby businesses.
Production is very important for our local economy. They benefit everybody from homeowners to businesses to mom and pop shops. So, in a typical year when things are really going well, that could mean over $30 million in economic impact for the city of Santa Clarita alone.
Still, even Santa Clarita is starting to feel the pressure. Production companies are looking elsewhere to states like Georgia and Texas, where generous tax breaks and lower costs have created booming film economies. These states are rolling out the red carpet, making it harder for California to compete.
Hollywood is the hotspot for movies and TV. It homed countless of blockbuster films and events. But with these sudden changes and shifts to different locations, the future of Hollywood is uncertain. For Canyons News, I'm Victoria Suarez.
COC hosted their annual job fair, aiming to connect students with local employers and give them the tools they need to succeed. Leah Pastorio brings us the story.
It was a busy day at College of the Canyons as hundreds of job seekers filled the West Gym for the annual Santa Clarita Job Fair. The event brought together more than a dozen local employers, offering opportunities in everything from healthcare to hospitality.
College students really need to get some experience, and it's really good to have that connection here with COC and in their community, and it will just help them explore career opportunities that they might want in the future, and it will just help them figure out what they want.
Events like this not only help students build connections, but give them real-life experience in networking and selling their skills in person.
For students, I think it's really important to have them know what kind of job opportunities are available, just so it can help them gain the experience that they need for when they enter the workforce in the future.
And while not everyone walked away with a job offer, many left with something just as important: confidence and a clearer path forward.
I hope that they take away how important it is to join events like this, because it's a way for employers and also other people to get to know them, and actually for them to kind of sell themselves to other people, because it's actually a good way for them to just be out in the world and just experience an overview of how it is to work before they actually join the real life events.
For Canyons News, I'm Leah Pastorio.
The city of Santa Clarita honored a man whose vision helped shape the very landscape of the city. We take you to the ceremony and the history of the founder of this community. Santa Clarita, the third largest city in Los Angeles County, would not be a city without the efforts of this man, Louis E. Brathwaite.
And that is his legacy, that he penned, planned, and promoted this city to be what it is today, and we stand on his shoulders.
We're proud to honor Lewis's memory here today with the street dedication.
The Brathwaite family and city dignitaries attended the sign unveiling at the new Sand Canyon Village development.
May this street be a symbol of the progress and the hope and the unity, just like the man whose name it bears.
Gloria Locke, a community activist, successfully petitioned the city to dedicate a street sign, coincidentally, on the day that would have been his 92nd birthday. Brathwaite died in 2001.
Happy birthday!
Louis Brathwaite was the driving force behind the push to incorporate the city of Santa Clarita in 1987. Navigating the city's rapid growth, he became the first African-American appointed to the City Planning Commission and elected to the William S. Hart District Board, including the board of the Boys and Girls Club.
This building right here. He was one of the key people that helped push the building through the planning process.
I know that future generations are going to see that sign, and they're going to ask, who is Louis Brathwaite? And then they're going to find out too.
Reporting for Canyons News, this is Terry Mitchell Collier.
Coming up next on Canyons News.
A local foundation held an event to show support for the paraplegic community.
And your Cougars golf team is swinging for its 12th state title. Stay tuned.
College of the Canyons creates possibilities.
It's a gateway to opportunities.
A place where students learn they can believe in themselves.
Behind every possibility at College of the Canyons are the people.
Together we focus on achieving success, one student at a time.
That focus is a reflection of what we value.
It defines who we are.
We are. We are.
We are College of the Canyons.
May marks the month of awareness for an uncommon disease called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or EDS. Reporter Jessica Makashima found one Santa Clarita resident who is shining a light on this invisible disease.
I'd wake up, brush my teeth and everything. I do my morning prayer, go eat breakfast, and then go to class. And then I usually take a nap.
This was the typical routine for 13-year-old Saad Assad until one day everything changed when he was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or EDS.
I was in the hospital for, I think, 2 weeks exactly. They had to do surgery and stuff because I had just blood outside my organs.
EDS is a condition that weakens joints, skin, and blood vessels. It is a genetic disease that gets progressively worse with age, for Saad beginning in high school.
During the readings in high school, when I was reading out loud to the class, I loved reading the book, but I realized I reached a physical limit to how much I can actually speak out loud. I'd be so talkative.
He also takes on the responsibility of being a brother.
I watch all my shows from my big brother, so I don't watch any shows by myself.
And a role model.
He had lots of time for me when he was younger, high school and middle school, but nowadays in college, he gives up his free time for me, which is also why he's a good big brother.
Despite life with an invisible condition, Saad continues to face each day with courage, an invisible reminder that strength can look different on anyone.
EDS doesn't define me. It's a part of who I am.
Reporting for Canyons News, this is Jessica Makashima.
Down on Main Street, you'll find El Trocadero, a Mexican restaurant and bar. However, one local artist got the Newhall business to become something a little more. Down on Main Street in Newhall, you'll find El Trocadero, a Mexican kitchen and grill, but every other Friday night, it becomes something a little special. They host their dueling piano show, an event where pianists can come and perform songs at the audience's request. The bigger the tip, the sooner your song gets played. You can even get the pianist to stop at any moment by tipping more than whoever tipped for the song to be played. The song genres can vary, ranging from classic rock, hip-hop, and even Disney song covers. But these events couldn't have happened without Katie Louise, a singer and songwriter local to Santa Clarita. Louise moved here from New York, only to find no dueling piano bars close to SCV. She then emailed as many places as she could, until finally, El Trocadero gave her the mic and allowed her and other dueling pianists to perform.
We're the only dueling piano bar in a 40-mile radius of here, so people even from Palmdale or Lancaster or Simi Valley or even those neighboring areas can have a place to come and enjoy the show, and they don't have to drive 3 hours to a show, you know?
The most recent event saw her perform with Laura, a fellow dueling pianist. The show is interactive, as the performers encourage the crowd to sing along and even come up and dance, showing how Santa Clarita residents show up for their local artists.
It's really cool to see this community really support it, because they have really supported and come out to all the shows, and we wouldn't still be going on and doing the show if people weren't showing up and singing along and just having a good time every night. It's really fun to just come and see 50 people just singing in my face. I love it.
For Canyons News, I'm Joey Gomez.
Students, staff, and faculty gathered to celebrate creative writing and poetry in the Shakespeare Garden on COC's Valencia campus. Reporter Tracy Maroney has more.
Toast. Warm, buttery, familiar. But to some, it's more than just breakfast.
All I can do now is hold this gem in keeping for them as I breathe in the smell of their fresh baked bread. Thank you.
Last Thursday, Jacoby Brown was one of just 13 writers selected from nearly 100 submissions to read at the 23rd Annual Poets and Writers event at College of the Canyons.
Tonight's authors will show you the importance of writing as self-expression, catharsis, and as a way of understanding the world and our places in it.
An English major and an editor for COC's literary magazine, Cul-de-sac, Jacoby shared a personal piece called Toast.
The most fond memory that I have of them, which is the smell of the fresh bread that my grandfather would bake every other morning. And when I was writing this piece, that smell was always in my head. And
I never got to thank Nana and Granddad properly for the gift of this moment before their memories were stolen away. I wouldn't know how to if I tried, nor would Granddad recall that I did.
For just a moment, Jacoby wanted the audience to sit in that memory with him.
Experience that calm, wholesome peacefulness, and then for me to explain to them why it's so important for me.
For Canyons News, I'm Tracy Maroney.
The Triumph Foundation invited SCV residents to their Wheelchair Sports Festival. Here's Jack Tyler with more.
Last weekend, the Triumph Foundation held its 12th annual Wheelchair Sports Festival at the Santa Clarita Activity Center. Introducing Wheelchair Sports and activities to hundreds of children and adults with spinal injuries. At the forefront was Triumph's founder and recovering quadriplegic, Andrew Skinner.
And I was snowboarding and fell and broke my neck. And so I became a quadriplegic, and I thought my whole life was ruined, and I was really hopeless.
Skinner knows just how much support is needed to get through a life-changing injury.
So I was very fortunate. I had a good family that was there to support me, and a community that rallied behind me. So I always wanted to pay it forward and help someone else out, someone else that doesn't have the support system like I did.
Events like this help Triumph continue to grow.
We've kind of grown to become a juggernaut in the world of spinal cord injury and the world of disabilities.
Andrew has taken that one person who came into my hospital room and just spread it exponentially. So now there's very few people who are in the hospital with paralysis who haven't seen someone from the Triumph Foundation, you know, an ambassador like me, or so many of the other people here.
For Canyons News, I'm Jack Tyler.
From padded gloves to heavy gold, reporter Sophia Mistretta takes us inside the ring of an event that brings all ages together to share the love for one specific sport, boxing.
The Mayor's Cup is a 3-day boxing event presented by former champion Fernando Guerrero with Guerrero Boxing. There are 20 fights per day featuring semi-professional fighters that have prepared months in advance for events like this.
So like maybe a month before the fight, I'm already training. I get around the gym at 1 before anybody else. I leave around like 6, 7. I take a break in between though.
In professional boxing, there can be anywhere from 4 to 12 rounds. For the Mayor's Boxing Cup specifically, they only feature 3 rounds that compose of 3 minutes for boys and 2 minutes for girls. All ages can participate. Many precautions are taken prior to a fight, like wrapping the hands with sports tape, measuring glove weight to ensure each category of fighter is competing with the appropriate glove, and weighing each fighter precisely, as it is the most crucial factor for pairing fights.
By weight class, yeah, by weight class. I started at 115 and I just moved up by a couple pounds. I'm 120. I fought at 120 today.
Outside, you can get away by finding the food truck and games that are open to everyone. If you're not eating or tossing cornhole, you're watching the room boom with adrenaline and confidence. This event was sponsored by the Fernando Guerrero Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering families, youth, and the homeless by providing essential education, financial resources, and basic necessities. I'm Sophia Mistretta with Canyons News.
One of California's most dominant sports teams is at it again, as the COC golf team is poised to win its record 12th state title. And the Cougars are once again looking like the favorites after a dominating performance on the course yesterday. COC and 8 other teams weathered 36 holes at a chilly and windy Los Serranos Country Club in Chino Hills. After struggling in the first round, Carson Diaz took charge on the back 9. His approach to the par 4 15th hole set up an easy birdie. His 2 under par 70 was COC's lowest score on the afternoon. Meantime, COC's top player, Ethan Posthumus, fired a 67 in round 1, and despite the challenging conditions, got up and down for birdie on the 18th hole. The Canadian wound up with the second lowest score in the field. COC went on to win the 3C 2A SoCal Regional for the 10th time in school history. Next up, the state tournament up north, where the Cougars are looking for back-to-back titles.
Turning to the pool, many of the area's fastest swimmers are gearing up for the CIF Southern Section Championships in Diamond Bar this week. And at least 2 athletes are looking to rewrite the record books. During last week's Foothill League finals, featuring all 7 area high schools, no one was faster in the pool than Valencia's Tori Yamamura. The Missouri-bound junior broke her own league record in the 100 fly for the 2nd consecutive year. But Yamamura not the only swimmer who made history. Hart senior Ali Yomamama also set a league mark in the 100 back, and it was the 4th consecutive time she won the event. Yokomama will be competing at Cornell this fall. Both the West Ranch boys and girls varsity and junior varsity went on to sweep the Foothill League.
The semester is winding down, and so are several sports programs. Many athletes here at COC have had the opportunity to shine. Canyon's news reporter Emily Veramontes shares more about someone who is a star on and off the court.
Traveling to Ventura may seem like a relaxing spot to some, but for Estrella Segura, it was all business. Another match, another challenge, and a shot at the 3C 2A state championship.
I had made it my first year, and it shows how much effort you put over all the years that you've been playing. And it finally all comes together. It feels so rewarding. So trust me, I was so happy when I made it into the tournament.
Discovering tennis by chance, Estrella's journey grew from curious beginner to fierce competitor among California's elite community college players.
For my singles, I felt it wasn't that great, but once we hit doubles, I felt so good. Normally, I prefer playing singles most of the time, but actually doubles ended up being the best thing that I had played while I was at the tournament. So I was really happy with how I played. I made it to the 3rd round of doubles with my partner, Bailey Renfro, so we did really well.
Estrella doesn't just play, she leads.
Estrella was the best captain that we've had in a long time. She is motivated, she's organized, she has a great work ethic, and she knows how to motivate the other girls on the team.
Balancing tennis and school takes a serious mental game, something she's developed over years of practice and persistence, serving herself up for success.
I know that organization is key, and that's the only way that I can get through it all. And again, I think talking with my family is able to help me get through it as well, because then I'm able to tell them, like, all right, I need to do this, and then sometimes they keep me accountable too.
Estrella's journey highlights the impact of hard work, determination, and the support of those around her.
Good job, Cap.
For Canyons News, I'm Emily Viramontes.
That does it for this edition of Canyons News. I'm Joey Gomez. Remember, you can catch us on the web at canyonsnews.com.
And I'm Terry Collier, and you can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, canyonsnews_COC, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good night, everybody.